Hi Kevin. How's it going?
Oh hey Lisa. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How come you didn't respond to my text messages last night?
Those text messages were dirty. I'm not trying to lose my job.
What do you mean lose your job?
You were sexting me, Lisa.
Sexting. What is that?
Sexting is the slang term for the use of a cell phone or other similar electronic device to distribute pictures or video of sexually explicit images. It can also refer to text messages of a sexually charged nature.
And what's so bad about that?
Our phones were given to us by our employer. They can look at our text messages. I don't want to get in trouble, Lisa.
Oh come on. No one has ever gotten in trouble for something like that.
Did you not hear about the guy out in California?
No. What happened?
There was a man named Jeff Kwan who worked for the police department in the city of Ontario. He was given a pager by the department and was not allowed to use more than 25,000 characters a month. The city suspected that he was going over this limit and audited his usage of the pager. They found some very interesting messages sent to his mistress. One trial court judge stated that the texts were, to say the least, sexually explicit in nature.
Doesn't that violate the Fourth Amendment and his right to privacy?
Well, you see, Lisa, in the Supreme Court case of Kwan versus the City of Ontario, the Supreme Court ruled that searching an employee's text messages is reasonable and does not violate Fourth Amendment rights in this scenario because the city's motive was to audit usage and increase plan coverage if needed.
So the Supreme Court sided with the city.
Correct.
And what happened to Kwan?
He was forced to pay the charges that came from his overusage of text characters. I'm sure things got pretty rough at home as well when his wife found out about his mistress.
Oh come on Kevin, that was all the way out in California. Surely nothing like that would happen here in Michigan.
Not so fast, Lisa. Haven't you heard anything about Detroit's former mayor in the news?
Are you talking about Kwame Kilpatrick?
Yes, Lisa. He played a very large part in one of the biggest scandals of all time. You see, it all began when Kwame unjustly fired one of the members of his protection unit, a man named Gary Brown.
Well, why was he fired?
Kwame thought that Brown knew too much about his secret affair and all of his wrongdoings. He was afraid that Brown would become a whistleblower. Well, Brown went to court for his unjust firing and told of many corruptions involving Kilpatrick, dating all of the way back to 2003 when a stripper was murdered following a party at the Manoogian mansion. He went into further detail and described the affair between Kilpatrick and his chief of staff Christine Beatty, something he had previously denied. In 2008, over 14,000 text messages were recovered between Kilpatrick and Beatty. The texts described their use of city funds to arrange romantic getaways and their fears that their affair would be discovered.
But isn't it illegal for someone to look through their phone records?
No. The phones were issued to them by the city of Detroit. The city had a very legit reason to look through their text messages. Following further investigations, many more criminal activities were discovered involving Beatty and Kilpatrick.
So what happened to the two of them?
Christine Beatty was charged with 7 felonies and Kwame was charged with 8. They were both forced to resign from their respective offices and pay restitutions to the city. Kwame was sentenced to 1.5 to 5 years in jail. Beatty was only sentenced to 120 days in jail.
Well, Kevin, I never thought sexting could lead to something as crazy as this.
Those are just the 2 biggest of the many sexting cases. Sexting occurs every single day all over the country. Several politicians, athletes and even school teachers have gotten into serious trouble because of it. Sexting can lead to sexual harassment and in some cases even land you on the sexual offenders list. Say somebody has a steamy picture of someone saved on their phone. If the picture is of somebody under 18 years of age, the picture constitutes as child pornography.
What a shame it is that teachers and athletes are doing such a thing. Young people look up to them. Aren't there any laws that stop people from sexting?
There are no federal laws that say anything about sexting. There are also no state laws about it in Michigan. However, several other states have made small laws, mostly involving minors.
So how can sexting be stopped?
In businesses like ours, it is up to the employer to make policies regarding issued phones. I was able to get a hold of my aunt, who is the senior manager of human resources at a well-known company here in Michigan. She explained her company's policy to me and even provided a copy of it.
Hi there. Let me explain my company's policy on cell phone usage. Basically, when it comes to the usage of corporate assets, including cell phones, they are for business use only. If a person is caught using a cell phone for reasons other than work, they are subject to discipline, up to and including discharge. Okay, so let's get to the reality factor. People are going to use their work cell phone for non-work reasons. Since my cell phone is a BlackBerry, it also has email capability and internet access, so these policies apply also. I'm not likely to carry around 2 cell phones, one for work and one for personal business. The other situation that occurs is that when you are a salaried employee, you work well beyond 8 hours. So just as I'm frequently doing work from home during off hours or in the office full 10 to 11 hours a day, I often take care of personal tasks during work hours. It's a give and take in order to get things done most efficiently. Work gets my extra time and I use their assets to get my personal tasks done. So if I'm at the office and I need to call home, I'll use my work cell phone. Typically that's no big deal unless a person abuses the system. When people get in trouble is when they exploit the situation. Examples would be that you use your cell phone excessively for personal use. They run reports frequently of the biggest cell phone users and investigate those that are at the top of the list to see if their usage is legitimate. Also, if you get caught doing something illegal or unethical, they can use the policy to further investigate your actions. So let's say that you get caught stealing or running a personal business from the office. Now everything is fair game. They can investigate other corporate policies you may have broken to determine their cause of action, which may be a written letter of warning, time off without pay, or discharge.
Thank you for that explanation.
Kevin, can you sum everything up for me?
Sure. In conclusion, there is no state law in Michigan prohibiting sexting. There is also no federal law. However, some forms of sexting can be sexual harassment. Employers should make policies prohibiting such behavior in their workplace. They should also make employees well aware of such policies. Employees have no right to privacy when it comes to company-issued cell phones. Employees would be smart to pay attention to the policy and should not sext. Sexting can lead to further investigations. I hope this helped in your understanding of what can result from sexting in the workplace.
It sure has. Enough of this sexting stuff. Did you happen to catch the Vikings game last night? Brett Favre is playing pretty good.
Speaking of Brett Favre, did you hear about his new sexting scandal with former Jets employee Jen Sturger? It is still under investigation.
Oh, Kevin, I can't take any of the sexting stuff anymore. I am going to break my phone.
Thanks for watching.